tablet contains 0.08 grams of ascorbic acid and the molecular mass, relative molecular mass of ascorbic acid is 176. What is the concentration of ascorbic acid when one tablet is dissolved in 200 cm cube? So to find the concentration, what we need moles divided by volume. How to get the moles? We have the mass in gram and we have the relative molecular mass. So to get the moles, it is mass in gram divided by relative molecular mass or atomic mass. Because it's a molecule, so relative molecular mass is there. Mass in gram is 0.08 divided by relative molecular mass is 176. What's the answer for this? 0.08 divided by 176. 0.08 divided by 176. What's the answer for the mole? So that's equal to 4.54 exponent minus 4 or 0.000454. So that's equal to the moles. And you can write in exponent or you can write in decimal. Both ways it is right. So the moles is equal to 0.000454. Then what about the volume? Because the volume is given in cm cube, it should be in dm cube. How to convert cm cube into dm cube? You will divide by 1000. So when 200 divided by 1000, that's equal to 0.2. So 0.000454 divided by 0.2. What's the final answer it matches with? So it matches with D, so D is the right answer. So 2.27 exponent minus 3 is approximately 2.3 exponent minus 3. Then question 15. This is about the reversible reaction. The graph shows how the yield of a product in a reversible reaction changes as the temperature and the pressure change. All the reactant product are in the gaseous state. You can see when we are increasing the pressure, because on x-axis we have pressure. As we are increasing the pressure, the yield means amount of the product here, yield of a product or mass of a product. So if you are increasing a pressure, the amount of the product is decreasing. So if amount of product is decreasing means the equilibrium is shifted towards left hand side. And as the equilibrium is shifted towards left hand side, which side we have fewer moles? So reactant side we have few moles, because increase in pressure always shift the equilibrium towards the side where number of moles are less. So side of reaction with the fewer moles, that will be reactant side, because as you increase the pressure the yield is decreasing. It means the equilibrium is shifted toward left hand side means the side where few moles are there, it means the reactant will have few moles. And what about the effect of temperature? You can see at 100 you are getting smaller amount or smaller yield, but 300 you are getting a greater yield. So it means increase in temperature increases the yield. It means the forward reaction is endothermic, because increase in temperature shift the equilibrium towards side where it favors the high temperature. So for endothermic reactions, if a reaction is endothermic, reactant have low energy and the product is having high energy. So when we increase temperature, if the yield increase, it means the forward reaction is endothermic. So forward reaction is endothermic, and the side where we have few moles, the reactant, so B is the correct answer. In question 16, which change represent oxidation? The term oxidation means addition of, like in terms of oxygen, addition of oxygen or removal of addition of oxygen is known as oxidation, or in terms of loss or gain of electron, it is oil rig. Oxidation is loss and reduction is gain. So if something is losing electron, we call oxidation. Something gain electron, we call that as reduction. So when you check, the question is which change represent oxidation. So iodine is changing into iodine molecule. That's a loss of electron. So if it's a loss of electron, this is oxidation. Chromium is +6. It changes into chromium +3. If chromium, the charge is decreasing, it means it gain electron, 3 electron. So that is not oxidation. If the charge on the ion decreases, it means that is reduction. So +6 is changing into +3. That's a reduction. So this is not oxidation. Iron +2 become +3. So iron is +2. It changes to +3. How the iron +2 will change into +3? By the loss of electron. So which changes are oxidation? 1 and 3 are oxidation. So B is a right answer. In question 20, the properties of elements are shown. Electrical conductivity is high. The density is low. Reaction with water. React violently with cold water. So which element has these properties? So basically it matches with the properties of alkali metals, group 1 metal. All metals can conduct. Density for group 1, the density is low compared to other, and violent reaction with cold water. So that's why D is a correct answer. Then question 30. So in this question, the diagram shows an experiment to investigate how the paint affects the rusting. So how the paint affects the rusting? Because for rusting, both air and water vapors are required. So what happened? The air, basically oxygen and water vapors are required. So from the air, the oxygen will react with iron. So amount of air will decrease. That's why the water level will relatively rise. But here, because painting will protect the iron from rusting, it will not rust. So amount of air does not change. As the amount of air does not change, so level of the water which is there inside the tube will remain unchanged. So in P it will rises, but for Q it will no change. The diagram represent a lime kiln used to heat the limestone to a very high temperature. Uh, so limestone is what? Limestone is calcium carbonate. So calcium carbonate, due to high temperature, will decompose into calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. So we add limestone, it decomposes into carbon dioxide, the waste gas, and calcium oxide will be there. So what leaves the kiln at X? So what leaves at X? That's the calcium oxide, because the limestone or calcium carbonate decompose, and it decomposes into calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. So the final product will be calcium oxide. Question 35. Which fuel could be a gasoline? So which of the fuel could be gasoline means the petrol they're asking. So how petrol is obtained? It is obtained by fraction distillation of the crude oil or petroleum. Yes. It is used as a fuel for the car. That's also yes. So A is the right answer. Because when we do fraction distillation of the crude oil, we get different fractions. Gasoline is, or the petrol is one of them, and we use it as a fuel for the cars. So these are the questions which I received before the class. If anyone else having a doubt from question 1 to 10 can mention in a chat now. It's better you mention your doubts before the class so I can go in sequence. But because it's the first time, so it's acceptable. You can mention your doubts from question 1 to question 10. Any doubt from question 1 to question 10? Crude oil and petroleum is the same thing. So crude oil or petroleum, we do fractional distillation first. We get octane or gasoline. And then there's another process you will learn in A levels that's called reforming. Then a reforming of a petrol is done. After that, it is used as a fuel in the car. The question 8, you have the mass and you have molecular mass. So you need a concentration. So concentration is equals to moles divided by volume. So how to get the moles? Moles is equals to mass in gram, 0.08 divided by 176. That will give you moles. And what about the volume? It is 200, but it should be in dm cube. So you divide by 1000, so it will be 0.2 dm cube. To get the concentration, it is moles divided by volume. So after getting this moles divided by volume, you will get the answer as D. Any doubts from question 11 to question 20? Question 11 to question 20. About this chromium, iodine, and iron question, look, the term oxidation means is a loss of electron. Iodine is -1, negative ion means it is having extra electron. And this iodine become iodine molecule. So how it become iodine molecule or a neutral? By the loss of electron. So this is oxidation. That's the first one. The second one, chromium, already it is +6. Like chromium already lost 6 electrons. But what happened during a reaction? It changes into chromium 3. So how the chromium 6? Chromium is already 6 now. Now the question is chromium 6 is changed into chromium 3. So if you have chromium 6, it convert into chromium 3. How it will convert into chromium 3? By taking 3 electrons, because +6 is there. +6 means like it has 6 more proton than electrons. And +3 means it has plus like 3 extra protons compared to electron. So how it +6 will change into +3? By gaining 3 electrons so that the charge on the chromium will decrease. So in terms of gain of electron, because if something gain electron, we don't say oxidation, we call that as reduction. And iron is +2. It changes into iron +3. So how the charge increases, it means the iron lost another electron. That's why it becomes +3. So 2 and 1 and 3 are oxidation. The 2 is a reduction. From question 11 to question 20, any doubt? Then question 21 to 25, sorry, 21 to 30, 25 is a doubt. Zinc is extracted from its ore zinc blend using the two chemical equation. Which substance is reduced in reaction 1 and reaction 2? Reduction is in terms of oxygen. You can also say addition of oxygen is known as oxidation. So which substances are reduced?
O2, I think, in the first one.
Yeah, because what happened, like first, even you can identify in terms of charge, or you can also identify in terms of oxygen. Look how to identify in terms of charge. Zinc, sulfur belongs to group 6, so sulfur is -2. Zinc is +2. For oxygen, when elements are there, the valency or the charge on the element is 0. But in zinc oxide, zinc is +2, oxygen is -2. And in case of sulfur dioxide, how to identify for sulfur dioxide? When both are the non-metals, so you will write for the non-metal which is on the right hand side first. So in this case, sulfur dioxide is there. So if one oxygen is -2, but because we have two oxygen, so total oxygen is -4. This is the total. One oxygen is -2, but two oxygen are there. That's why it is -4. And for because it's overall, it is neutral. So if overall neutral, if overall it is neutral, then sulfur should be +4. So when I write the charges, look, -4 for both oxygen total and +4 for one sulfur. So for each, when we write the oxidation number, we write for each. So sulfur is +4 and oxygen is -2. Now we have to identify whether oxidation happen or reduction. Oxidation means increase in the charge. How the charge increase? Because of loss of electron. And what is the meaning of reduction? Reduction means decrease in charge. Because it gain electrons, so the charge will decrease, or we can also say it is a gain of electron. So you can see for oxygen, it is 0 in the beginning. And one of the compound, the oxygen is -2. So if 0 become -2, if 0 changes to -2, what we call this, because there's a decrease in charge, so we call that as reduction. So for which substance reduction happen? It happened for oxygen in the reaction 1. What about reaction 2? Zinc is +2, oxygen group 6, so -2, carbon, when elements are there, the charge is 0. Zinc is the element here, the charge is 0. And for this carbon dioxide, so actually carbon is +4. One oxygen is two oxygen is -4, but we are always checking for each. One oxygen is -2. Now when you check here, zinc is +2, or zinc oxide is there, the overall compound, then it becomes zinc. So if zinc oxide becomes zinc, what is the change? The charge was +2. If +2 becomes 0, it means decrease in the charge. That is why for zinc oxide or basically for a zinc reduction happen. This is in terms of charge. You can also identify in terms of oxygen. Like if oxygen number of oxygen increase, it means oxidation. Number of oxygen decrease, it means reduction. You can not about the total, like for a molecule. You can see here it is O2, it become O. So number of oxygen and O2 become SO2, so it remain O2. Here there is no change in oxygen, but when O2 becomes zinc oxide, it means for oxygen the number decreases. That's why oxygen reduction happen. Same thing, zinc oxide is there, it becomes zinc. So if zinc oxide changes to zinc, it means that is also a removal of oxygen, and removal of oxygen is also known as reduction. So zinc oxide reduction happen. So you can use both ways to answer this question. You can use the charge to answer the question. You can use identify in terms of oxygen to answer this question. But with oxygen, it is not valid all the time. Reason for that, because all reactions does not involve oxygen. Like redox reactions, oxidation and reduction reaction does not involve oxygen in all the example. That's why not always it is true for oxygen, but with a charge, you can identify any reaction, whether it is oxidation or reduction. Any other question from 21 to 30? From question 31 to 40, any question, any doubt? From question 31 to question 40. Any doubt?